Hey guys, what's up? Strap on your protective gear because we're going to look at a very, very spiky specimen right now. This is the Lucchini gambit. So I've just got this open on the Explorer right now. There's a couple of ways that you can get into this as black. This gambit played by black. You can, probably the more common is from the Italian game, Gioco Piano, and then they push D3, the Gioco Pianissimo. The very quiet game, and then as black you push F5, and this brings us to the starting position of the Lucchini gambit. You're trying to tempt the pawn away onto F5, etc. Now, I'm going to share a couple of games. I haven't had this loads and loads of times, partly because I've forgotten the move order. Or I did forget it for a while. I'm playing it more now, and I'm seeing it more now, and I'm enjoying it way more. Okay, so two games that I played recently. This is a five minute blitzer, and so the way that I get into this is from the Italian. I go immediate F5, which is the Russo, okay, rather than the Gioco Piano, and then after they play this, I then play Bishop C5, bringing us to the same starting position. Okay, and what we're looking at, what we're wanting, is for White to go fried liver style. Okay, and bring the knight in here to attack F7, supported by the bishop with a horrible fork on queen and rook. But haha. Okay, so here they come in, and you push F4. What does F4 do? Well, what F4 does is it blocks the bishop's defense of the knight. So now this knight is behind enemy lines, and you will very often find that because this knight is in danger of being captured by the queen, the knight will come straight into F7. Now, obviously, Bishop F7 is also playable because it comes with check, and the queen then can't take the knight. And you might be kind of familiar with this kind of pattern when you've got your bishop looking down there from like the Traxler. But we don't have a knight. I think we need a knight out here for the Traxler. So it's completely different. Anyway, so in this game, game number one, White comes in with a knight, knight F7, and what you do is you play queen H4. And you are lining up, well, White's first problem is you're lining up an immediate checkmate. So if they go and take the knight, then it's GG on move 7, okay? Now, they will more often castle. So here I play knight F6, giving up the rook. White grabs the rook, and my knight dives into G4. Now, this is not a perfectly played game, as we will see. In fact, I think I went on to win this with a timeout. So White now plays H3, kicking the knight. But notice, we have only two defenders on F2, and uno, dos, tres attackers, right? So in this game, I captured with the bishop. This is not the right idea. You should capture with the knight and hit the queen. Okay, but we'll look at that. I capture with the bishop, they take, I take with the queen, and we have some toing and froing. Okay, and yeah, the game continues. White lives to fight another day, and I think in the end I do win, but I win on time. Okay, now let's just rewind a little bit and say that let's not take with the bishop, let's take with the knight and attack Her Majesty. Okay, where is the queen going to go? Well, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I guess. This one's not playable because it simply loses the queen. So there are 5 possible moves. Okay, but what we're going to do. So obviously, but you know, wherever the queen goes, for example, like queen goes here with the idea of defending this. You've got knight here, I guess, but we shall see. I need to learn this more. Okay, but let me show you the second game while we're here. Okay, Italian, Russo, D3, very common, right? I mean, it's perfectly natural. White wants to defend this pawn. It's under attack, not defended. Defend it with the pawn, and then Lucchini. Knight comes in, F4, shut the door. Now bishop comes in. I play king F8. I don't know if that's the best move. It is it's the only move. King e7 is better for white. So you have to play king f8. Good to know. And now white takes my rook. I take their knight. The bishop's still under attack, has to retreat the bishop. And now I'm coming in with a big attack on this side, right? So my knight now comes in to join the fun. And I think I do quite well. There's a lot of checks. I'm driving the king back. Now the bishop comes in. More checks. I win the rook and so on and so forth. There's actually a forced mate in 3 here. For some reason it goes on for another 8 moves. So what I should have done is knight to e2. Oh no, they play knight e2. What did they play? They play knight e2. So bishop b4 check. c3. Queen e3 comes in. Wow. There. Queen e3. King e1. And then knight takes here is mate. Wow. Pretty one. Pretty one. Anyway. So, what I then did, because I know that Pete, Chess Bootcamp Live member, Pete plays the Russo. Pete likes the Russo. Pete also has a very evil attacking streak in him. So I thought I would put Pete's username into the Explorer and bring up the starting point for the Lucchini with the pawn pushed, right? So, but let's check this out, okay? So here, so Pete's played this a lot, okay? D3 is the second most played move, 233 times after accepting the gambit. Okay, so after D3, Pete plays bishop c5 with a 52% win rate, and that's very good for black. Okay, and now the most common move is castles. Okay, second most common, knight g5, and Pete has won 82% from this position. Always pushes f4. Okay, and it doesn't matter which way it goes in, Pete wins most of the time. So what I thought I would do is just pull up like, by the way, and then what you can do from here, view all games of current position, and bugger me, this is Pete's wins. So I've filtered for the ones he's won. In rapid, look at these moves, the move count, 11, 12, 9, 14, 14, 15, okay, 87, but 9, 12, 20, this is remarkable. It's really not usual for chess games to finish in under 20 moves. And Pete is doing it, you know, when he's winning, which is most of the time, he is really kicking bottom. So, I've got 4 of these. Let's just go through quickly. Italian, Russo, Lucchini. Okay, knight in. So they're all on a similar theme. Knight comes into there. We know what to do, queen h4. Okay, here the queen comes out to defend, rather than we saw castles, I think, on our game. And now the knight comes in. Okay, so again, you know, this is the whole idea with these f-pawn pushes, right? This is a move from the Vienna. If you play the Vienna as white. This is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to recycle ideas because I'm lazy and old, right? Now white captures backwards with the knight, not realizing the queen's under threat. We take the queen and go on to win. This is not a win by checkmate, but they resigned. Beautiful. Let's look at another one. The Italian game. Interestingly, this came from a different move order. So this is a bishop's opening. And then Pete's played the knight out to c6. And then we transpose into the Russo. Okay. And they play d3. Bishop out. Push the pawn and shut the door. Knight comes in with check. Queen h4. Okay. Now they castle. Now knight f6, which is the move I remembered. They take the rook, which is very tempting. Now the knight comes in, and h3. Very, very natural. Now what does Pete do? Pete does the correct move here. Captures with the knight, hitting the queen. Queen now comes out to f3. Notice that rather than capturing with check, which is a forcing move, right, capturing with the non-checking piece, like so, means that there is now a discovered check. So the queen has to tread very carefully because this, wherever this knight goes, if the queen is on like a dark square that can be hit by the knight, the queen is in danger of being captured. So from here, if they go here, you could do that, for example. If they go here, you could do that, with check, winning the queen. So the queen really only has 3 squares. The queen really has to go onto one of the light squares, and that one's out because the knight's looking at that one. Anyway, so there really are only 2 rational squares for the queen to go to. The queen comes out here. We go knight h3 check, and really I think g takes is pretty much forced, no? Okay, but now, okay, here Pete could have played knight g5, winning the queen if the queen blocks the check, takes, but this is a check, very forcing. Okay, king comes back. It's actually the same idea. If the queen had blocked, then we capture the queen anyway. And now the beautiful queen h1, checkmate. Knight's defended by the bishop. There is nowhere to go. Okay, let's look at a couple more, just to give you a flavour for this. And my advice is, if you want to study this, then, you know, use the chess.com Explorer and look up PXM23's wins from the Russo, or from the Lucchini. Okay, Italian game, Russo gambit, declined, and now Lucchini. So, knight in, push pawn, knight in, queen out, king there, knight out, takes. Now the bishop comes in with check, so, you know, I'm looking for slightly different games. Bishop comes in with check, now they push h3, and it's the same deal. Here the rook takes, which is just losing material. Pawn to f3. If they take here, I don't know. Maybe it's queen here. I don't know. Bishop comes out with check, knight blocks. Queen to here now, but that actually simply drops the queen because our queen is defended, and that's checkmate. Right, you want to see one more? Lucchini. There we go, the starting position for the Lucchini. Again, knight comes in. And again, we shut the door. Knight comes in again. Interesting. That I think bishop in is probably, if I switch lines on, bishop in is probably the better move. No, it's saying knight in. The bishop check is not good at all, Precious. Bishop check is not it's not even in the top 3. The machine actually is saying h4 for white here, and then the second move is. So what's wrong with this? Let's just, while we're here, let's check it out. Because of king f8, and black is actually winning here. Black is winning because we are threatening to attack the knight and drive it away and win the bishop. Okay. Anyway, back to the game. Okay, so knight in was played, queen out, etc. Knight out, give up the rook. We take with a knight. Queen comes here again. And here the knight pivots back. And we win the queen. And that's checkmate. Okay? You can see how quickly things fall apart and go very, very badly wrong for white in this situation. So I know that I need to study this a bit more. Let me go back to my games as black. And we'll come to here, and the Italian, and the Russo, okay? So I'll play Russo. So I get d3. I've had d3 58 times. Okay? 58 times. And I've only won 45% of those games with a few draws. Okay? Because I have generally, I think, forgotten that bishop c5 is the move. When I play bishop c5, I win more than I lose, and also if I push f4 now, I win more than I lose. But bishop c5 is the best move, I think. And so if you are following the Freddy Krueger repertoire and you're playing the Russo, you know, this looks like a very quiet move and kind of almost tempts you just to develop and press on, but actually you need to remember this Lucchini position and the lines that stem from it. So enjoy, have lots of fun. Thanks for watching. See you later.